Hi, this is Ben with Amtex Equipment with the final section of the Inferno 500 videos. This video is going to be a very short one showing you how to set up the machine prior to cleanup, and then how to shut it down, which is going to be really the easiest step of all. Now, as far as starting the machine, while you're setting up your hoses, you want to turn the machine on and allow the machine to run at idle. Let's go. Of course, after checking the oil level in the engine and the pump, to start the machine, to have it at idle, you want to have both throttle handle, which is the speed control, the lower one, and the choke all the way to the right. From the right position, go and move the choke all the way to the left. Crank the engine and then open the choke, but allow the engine to run at idle while you're setting up your hoses, while you're pre-treating the floor. That way you get your water inside of your water box to kind of warm up a little bit. That way the machine will give you a good kickstart with the heat production. So we're gonna go ahead and start. We're gonna open the choke. We're just gonna allow the machine to run a little bit. Let's open it on. This unit doesn't need a one-foot bypass. In other words, it does not need to be manually controlled as far as the heat. It is fully controllable by its own thermostat on board, which we're about to go outside and show you how it operates. What I'm going to do, the only one I had today was the one with the bypass, but I'm not going to use the bypass, just to show you how the machine can operate without it, because these are much higher tech Infernos that we're putting on. They're much more friendly as far as their operation. Now, what we're going to do as far as the setup, as I explained to you, in order to kind of preheat the water, allow the machine to run at idle the way it's running, and then use that time to set up your hoses, set up your wand, move up the furnitures. That way the water inside of your water box kind of preheats a little bit, kind of warms up. So now the water that's going to enter the first heat exchanger is going to be warm water rather than cold water. Now, I'm going to go ahead and set the thermostat on 250 degrees to show you the max production heat of this baby, and then from there we're going to go outside and show you how to shut it down, which basically shut down will be lowering the RPM, turn the thermostat all the way on the lower setting, leave the key on, and start wrapping up your hoses. So while you're wrapping your hoses, the machine is going to start disposing any kind of hot water back into the recovery tank, and by the time you get done with your hoses being all packed up, the machine is all cooled off and ready to go for the next job. What we're going to go right now, we're going to go outside and increase our RPM to about 2,900 in neighborhood. The max RPM I would love this machine to be run by you guys is about 3,000. Anything past that, you're going to really overload all the heat exchangers, because these are very large heat exchangers, and also you're just going to be basically consuming more and more fuel and wearing the machine. So an operating instruction for this machine as far as the RPM, let's say 22 to 2,400 doing the furniture, and about anywhere from 2,800 to 3,000 RPM doing carpet, hard surface cleaning, or what have you. So we're going to go outside right now, increase the RPM, set our thermostat on 250, come inside and start cleaning. By using your 4 fingers as a support, use your thumb, increase the RPM to about 2,900. 3,000. Thermostat on 250. The way this machine operates, it can run on its own till it runs out of gas. In other words, there is no help needed as far as controlling its temperature. But in order to maintain the temperature with any kind of heat exchanger system, it doesn't have to be ours, or it could be anybody, any other design. The heat exchangers, they basically generate the heat from the exhaust of the engine. So as you're cleaning, water goes through the heaters, cools off the coil. With that, the result of that, the product of it is going to be the steam that's going to come to you to do the floor. But remember, as you're cleaning, you're using hot water out of the heat exchangers, so your temperature starts dropping. That's when you need to let go of your trigger, which I'm about to show you how. Allow some dry backing, allow the temperature of the heat exchanger to start rising. So when you go and do the next section, now you're going to see that boiling water is going to be continuously with you. Let's go now. a start. Always, as you're coming back, if you want, there it is. Woo! 250. Inferno 500. Woo! Vacuum. Remember I told you about the try-back? As I'm coming back, take a look. Allow the machine to breathe. Boom. Boom. Now look, I've done this section. Now I'm gonna do my next section, but I'm gonna overlap because I don't want to leave any dry spots behind. There I go again. Again, let's go, vacuum. Next stroke. If you follow what I'm telling you, you'll be enjoying this type of performance throughout the whole job. Take a look. Continuous heat. Woo! Again, vacuum. Next stroke. Okay, we can keep going and going. One of us passed out, which I know is going to be me. Anyway, this was how you run your machine. Sorry about the Texas heat. You allow the machine to preheat at low RPM while you're setting up your hoses. Then you increase your RPM to your full throttle allowed, which is 28 to 3000. Go to work, do a section, let go, do another section, let go and vacuum. Now you're going to be maintaining the temperature at high 200 plus degrees. We're going to go outside and show you how to shut it down. It's really simple procedure. And then from there we're going to say goodbye from Houston and thank you for being with us. Let's go. The step one will be lowering the RPM. Step one is you're trying to lower the RPM to allow the machine to turn to cool off a little bit. Now step two will be to turn your thermostat setting at lowest, off. And then at that time you can simply shut down the engine by increasing the RPM first, increase, off. Now why? All the, as I explained in prior videos, all the carburetor engines, when they're running, they do send quite a bit of, they do the mixture of air and fuel. Now, once your exhaust manifolds are hot, there might be some mixture of fuel and air blowing to the exhaust manifold and cause backfiring. That's why it is always ordered by the company that builds this machine to build these engines to increase your RPM mid-range, then shut off. That means you're burning off any excess fuel that might be present and cause backfiring. Now, once you have the thermostat setting on off, leave your key on and start taking off your hoses. Eventually your temperature gauges, they're going to start dropping down because by having the thermostat on off, machine safely disposes any extra hot water that was inside of the heat exchangers into a recovery tank, and eventually the machine cools off. There's no cooling needed manually. So This was the third video that I did for you. I want to thank you for being with me again for another video for Inferno 500, and I'm looking forward to bring you more and more design of the machine in the future. Again, with Amtex Equipment, signing off from Houston.